Hey, welcome to another episode of I Must Ask You a Question with Jen King and James Hake. How you doing, Jen?
Doing so good.
I
I'm
can't.
happy we finished our inventory. Sorry, last night at about we left here at like 12.
Oh wow!
It's nothing. One of Bean, who is an amazing person, was here until like 8 o'clock in the morning the night before.
Oh my wow! Oh yeah, we stayed late last week. We're doing these whatnot shows that is just like have been an absolute blessing because of this paper shortage, and we stayed really late. I was just telling you before we jumped on. My wife ended up getting COVID, so I've been quarantining and I stayed here I've been staying at HQ for quite a while, and one of the employees here, Sean, he stayed with me, and we went until like midnight and just sold stuff, and it was fun. And but yes, those late nights. I know we're gonna be doing that probably twice a year, doing inventory. Like a lot of commercial. Do you guys do that too? Like where you stay overnight and almost like when shop hours aren't there, and like just inventory the store like once or twice a year?
So we do it once a year, and we used to do it. My plan back when I used to run things, which is obviously it's good that it's better that someone else is making those decisions now. But we used to do back-to-back scheduling so that we were running 24 hours a day, all the wands going, and trying to knock it out as fast as we can. And it would take about a week. Now, explain this. I have no idea how this works. We have 3 times as much product as we had then. But Shanice, who's the general manager now, schedules it out so that it's a much more relaxed atmosphere for like, just pick it 8 hours during this 24 hours that you're going to come in. And we schedule it out that way so people don't get burnt out. And so people that are like super go-getters that like, I'm just going to come and scan for 20 hours straight, they can do it if they want to. But mostly it's just people like come in when there's time. So it fits in their day really well. And then like people that are night owls can come and scan in the middle of the night. And we still finished in the same amount of time or less time, and no one is stressed out.
That's great.
I don't know what the difference is, but we're going to stick with Shanice's plan.
That's awesome. We haven't had one of those yet. It's going to be coming soon now. Gosh, so we're fully moved in November, right at the beginning of November. It's been awesome. It's been so much fun. We're having some big events planned. I don't know if this has been revealed yet, but if people are listening, they can hear it. Whatnot's doing an Indie Comics Week for a lot of us indie publishers, and it's going to be in February. And we're going to fly in some people. Joe Schmalke and Peter Gorel are going to come out. We for Tracker, we did this Playmates version. When I say Playmates, like the original TMT Playmates toys, we got the original sculptor to do his version of the very first image of Phantom Starkiller. So the very first figure, is like he looks a lot different than he looks now. And we're coming out with this limited edition prototype where it's in this like special limited edition box with like history of Phantom Starkiller. And it's not going to be colored. It's going to look like the blue prototype. And we made 500 of them. So they're going to come out and we're going to release them during that Whatnot. And Joe and Rich are going to both come down, knock on wood, they don't get COVID or things started to improve. And we're going to do live shows. Like we're going to do a metal cover with Third Wave, where I'm going to do signings. I think we're going to do a metal cover with Sam and His Talking Gun, because Drew is the writer and one of our employees here, and his dad lives here as well, Lee, the artist. So they're going to do like a double signing. So we have some really fun stuff planned in the next coming month.
I love it.
Super excited, but we found paper. Did I tell you that?
Is this one of those like I know a guy and it fell off the back of a truck? I found paper.
No, I love Comic Impressions. If they're listening, I absolutely love them. The business relationship that we have formed with them has just been unbelievable. But they haven't been able to get paper for weeks. They've just got some, which has been great. But like January is going to be like a lost month. I'm working on a newsletter right now to let you retailers know, because we have to change dates and stuff, because there literally hasn't been anything for us to print. Like it's scary. I mean, I feel even more scary for the printers out there. And we've been talking to a whole bunch of the bigger printers, all Canadian based, that print like Marvel, DC, etc. And for the foreseeable, like really, we found enough paper where we can get back on schedule, but it's going to be making up for that lost month. So you know, it's been an issue, and it's not just the paper. Ink. People's not talking about the ink problem that there is as well. Ink's hard to get at, and
Is
then
it
the
the
supply
specific
chain issues.
colors, or
What?
is it specific colors, or the grade of ink?
Yeah, it's the grade of ink. And so
Okay.
basically, like, a lot of printers will have their like company that they go to, right? Their go-to company for ink, because it matters. I mean, it
Yeah.
matters, like, just like the type of paper, like soda is the same, but it might be like cola, right? But Pepsi, RC, Coke, they all taste differently. It's the same thing
Yep.
with ink, and it's the same thing with paper. And what I've been told is now it's just like you take what you can get when it comes paper and or ink. And then on top of it, when they actually get it, it's like who knows when they're going to get it because of the shipping issues that they're having. So it's like I don't feel like enough of the comic industry is talking about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But it's a serious, I mean, it's not just a Scout problem, it is an industry problem. And then with all the new distributors out there, release dates are just so out of whack. It's wild. So my famous saying, like I didn't even realize it was a famous saying until recently. I joke around with Joe Schmelke all the time. It's lemons into lemonade, and that's what we've been trying to do. We have some really cool stuff, like our sub box, our monthly subscription boxes. We're doing a throwback month this month because we don't want to delay when it goes out, and we're back in the rotation. But when you submit something for print, it still takes like 3 weeks to get, 3 weeks to 4 weeks to get into a shop. So we're doing like a throwback month of like a lot of number ones that people might have missed that we love, some of our books. So it's just pivoting. It definitely causes stress. I'm surprised I'm not gray. I am gray, but I'm going a lot more grayer.
More gray than you think.
Yes, I'm going a lot more gray from this time last year than I was the previous year. And yeah, it's exciting, but it's also stressful. We have a couple really big announcements that we're having. I can't reveal them now too. Like really big ones that I'm super excited about. Everyone here is. So
you've done so many big announcements.
I know, and they're keeping on coming.
I can't imagine how much bigger it could be.
Well, I can't tell specifics, but I am going to say it now. One of them is the mall, about an animated feature. So I'll leave it at that.
An animated feature.
Yes, ma'am. And what we're talking about doing is getting some of those iconic 80s actors and actresses to do the voices. So how cool would that be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one of them. I can't say more details. And Solar Flare too, I can't say more details, but that one is really, really exciting. And that's just
to know that those are the books that people should focus on. So I mean, just in case they were like on the fence for having read them before, this will maybe push them over the edge to be like,
maybe there's so many good ones like that we have going, and not just in a couple signings too. Like some of we have a couple big name creators that were in the red zone, so to speak, and getting them to come over. There's just so much cool stuff that we have in the works that I think is going to be able to be announced sooner rather than later. But yeah, today was we didn't have anything come out the first week. Today we had the Space Cadet come out. We had the Mall. We had a remastered trade that just came out, and Space Cadets by the team of Jonathan Hedrick, who does the recount, which everybody heard that news, and then Stefano Cardacelli. Those of you who don't know who Stefano is, that guy is an absolute talent. We've done multiple books with him now. Fisheye, Planet Caravan, Sweet Downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just in Sweet Downfall. What a log line, right? It's about a crash test dummy who falls in love with a unicorn and has to save her life after she gets kidnapped by a mafia. It's like, what? I remember when we sent the press release, we got so many responses from it. Like, this sounds absolutely brilliant. Like, what a log line. But he's a heck of a talent. This is an all age story. And, it's a really awesome book. It's a one and done, but I think they have other stories planned too. But we did a VHS variant, which is like this Disney. I think that's the one that you have there, right? The Disney homage.
Yeah.
So we do with all of our Scoot number ones. We do this. It's like a little collector tip of the cap too. We also do a coloring book cover where kids, if they instead of doing a sketch cover, they can color. Yes, very cool. and that's fun. Stefano's. And then we did a Space Cadet sub box variant where we made it exclusive to our sub box. It's by Chris Hamer. He's the creator of Adventures of Byron, which was really cool. And I think we did one more too. I think the creator, The Hive, which is a really great comic shop, they did a variant. And then the creator, he partnered with Brian Silverbacks and they did a variant as well. So a lot of cool variants out there for Space Cadet. I heard that you have a story behind that. Care to share?
Schmalky, we are live. We are live. So, okay,
Schmalky.
so I read this yesterday, right, for review.
Yeah.
And I already knew that I was going to love it because, I mean, it has most of my store name in it.
Yeah. That's,
As a Space Cadet myself. So I was like, what is the likelihood that Stefano has the original art or that it's practical? Because I didn't know if he worked as a practical artist or a digital artist. So I just messaged him in what was my middle of the night, 1 a.m. when I got home from doing inventory. And so what's the likelihood that you have the cover art for this book? And he says, I don't know. Let me go look. So he went and found it. So we had a sweet talk in the middle of the night. So I purchased and is going to arrive to me the cover art.
That's awesome.
This back art. And they was such a sweet, just the most sweet person.
And by the way, he's in Europe, so it was like normal time for him.
That's
for
why
those of you listening.
Okay, that at 1 a.m. I'm talking to him. He was having coffee, and it was the morning. And then he said, pick out an interior page. So I'm in love with this one with a little boy.
That's great.
Talking to the astronaut face to face. So this is an inspirational book, James. I mean, I think that kids are going to get a hold of this and be inspired. I think that's what it's meant to do, is to inspire them to go into the sciences, because it seriously mentions exactly which sciences they might focus on if they wanted to be an astronaut, because the astronaut tells them.
I think it's awesome. What Richard Rivera is doing with the Scoot line, like I just, since we put him as a publisher of that line, what he's done just with the Scoot launch program, with these one shots, you know, how he cares for the creative teams and like his work with a lot of them behind the scenes. Like, it's just been incredible. I'm so very proud of that line. I mean, I'm so proud of all of our imprints. What Black Caravan's done, right? Schmelke and Woodall, like, it's just been awesome. And hopefully we're going to have some new one. I mean, we have the Chispa one that's coming out. We should have some more news on that shortly. We're planning that for the big, you going to Comics Pro this year? Commercially?
Yes, I wish we could go in person so badly.
I do too.
I need an in-person getaway in the worst possible way. But yes, I will definitely be attending.
I might. It just depends. I have to ask the wife. So I'm glad it's not in person this year, because my father-in-law did something really special. They lost his mom, and he's, as like a celebration, he invited the family to come out to they got like a resort in the Dominican Republic. Oh, so nice. Like it's this big family reunion, and my wife is from Belgium, so it's like it's going to be the Belgium family reunion, but it's during that week. But now that I think about it, I could probably pop in on some of these roundtables just because they have internet there. So I'll just be in the Dominican. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to go in person. But we got some cool. I mean, that's where a lot of these announcements, you'll hear them first, is Comics Pro, like a couple of the one that I hinted towards. But Chispa is going to do a kind of what their first slate's going to be. I think maybe in the fall is when they're going to start coming out. But yeah, we might add this other imprint too that I'm working on. It's a close friend of mine. It's a really cool one.
So do all the imprints have kind of like a leaning? So I mean, like when you see Black Caravan, you kind of know what kind of
like Chispa. You know what Chispa is? It's the Latinx imprint. Scoot is all ages. This other potential one, you'll know why. It would be an imprint. It has a certain stylization to it where you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, good.
So, and we had one called, we haven't really released it yet, but I think we're going to do it this year. It's just called Scout One Shots, where it's just going to be one shot books. So you'll know it and have like a certain little, like a logo on it that shows that it's a one shot, you know, with
are these just talents that you found that a one shot book that you like? Okay.
And I think a lot of it will go with, it kind of coincides. Have you heard of that script to comic contest that we run?
Oh, no.
So Don Hanfield does it. And he has a lot of, I mean, he's Mr. Hollywood, so he's got all these connections. So what we do is we curate. He's got like Mosaic, who's our manager, and it's a big producer out in LA. They sponsored the grand prize winner this past year, but it's a contest where you submit your movie script and the winner gets it turned into a comic. So we've been a sponsor of it. We've it's been the second year. We picked up another title. The first year we picked up 3. One of them is West Moon Chronicles. That's going to be released this year, and it's by Frank Kim and Joe Picardo, who's one of the artists on The Recount. I've seen the art. By the way, Joe Picardo, unbelievably talented. He is going next level, man. To see where he started, which was already amazing, to where he is at now. So I'll share with you some of the art on this book. It is, and it's follows a Korean immigrant in Texas, and it has a lot of Korean lore to it with monsters and stuff. It's such an amazing script, and the story that Andrea Molinari has helped curate with the scriptwriter, who Frank Kim, like I said, has just been. It's going to be 3 issues to start, but this is like a world where you're just like, I would love to see this, like The Witcher, or like, what's that new one? I just watched it this weekend. Oh my gosh, The Wheel of Time. Have you seen that yet on Amazon?
I binged that this weekend too.
I did. I binged it on Sunday, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't realize there's like 20 books for it. It's like crazy, but yeah, it was good. It started slow, but man, once you got into it, it was like, I'm in.
What's so funny is I think that there's like some like blowback on it for people that read the books first. They're like, there's stuff
I'm sure.
I'm like, whatever.
I haven't yet, so like, yeah, I think there's no way of really escaping that, and I'm guilty of that too. That's how I felt about Ready Player One. Ready Player One, that book was perfect, and the movie, and it was Spielberg, and it just wasn't perfect. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect, and there were some things like, why did you change that? Didn't need to be changed. But yeah, I enjoy. So you binged that too? Yeah, I did too. I was like, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I've been binging weird stuff since I've been living downstairs in the TV room.
Yeah, so you did the same thing I did. I was quarantined. I was like, I'm gonna watch some stuff. I finally started watching Y the Last Man, catching up on that, which I cannot believe it's taken me this long, because that's literally probably my favorite comic. My single favorite. That's my question for you, by the way, today. Kind of revealing it either. What is your single favorite comic book? Number 1, reading, that touched you the most. Mine is Y the Last Man, number 60. I teared up reading that thing. I absolutely loved it. Tinder bar, huh, Joey? What's that? Is that like a dating app?
That's my first thought. Was like,
yeah, no, it sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
It's Ben Affleck. It's the movie that just came out, where he's a barkeep and with a little kid or whatever.
Yeah, it's George Clooney's.
Yeah, George Clooney. Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
That's a movie, right? That's not a show. That's just
it's a movie. It's on Prime, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that as a preview, because Prime, that's where Wheel of Time is on. So I was like, what else do we have going? Hey, so what's your favorite comic?
If you're talking about for emotional hit.
Yeah, emotional hit. Let's do emotional.
I think, given not a lot of time to think about it 100%, probably I think it's issue number 3 of Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer, where it's Gale's origin story.
It's a good one.
And it like just hits you in the face.
It's a really good one. So yeah, my number 1 is Y the Last Man, number 60, the final issue. Talk about absolutely nailing an ending of an iconic series. Brian K. Vaughan, again, as a writer, like, I strive to be as good as he is. Like, it's just such an amazing story. And then my number 2, emotional, like, holy smokes, it makes you think, is Smoketown number 2 from Scout. You've read Smoketown, right?
I'm gonna have to go back and read number 2 and see.
So number 1, remember, the event happens. The event happens in number 1, right? And then number 2 reveals the backstory of why the guy was an alcoholic, right, without revealing anything.
Right. Yeah.
And he had PTSD. Do you remember that with the bombing?
Yeah, I see it.
I was just like floored when I read that. I tell people all the time, I think the single best comic I've read in the past 10 years is Smoketown number 2. It just makes number 1 so much better. And it was already really good, but oh my gosh, like, so powerful. And again, it shows how talented Philip Kennedy Johnson is, because he's basically writing everything known to man right now. Action Comics, Aliens, Captain America. He is a talent, and what an awesome human being that guy is. You know, he's a military man. He plays trumpet.
Oh, wow.
In the military, yeah.
That's cool.
He kind of looks like Captain America too, by the way. So, yeah.
I've always wanted to know real Captain America.
He pretty much is. So if he's listening, Philip, you're the man. And then the artist, Scott Van Demillion, they met because he's also a musician. And he's done so many books for us, like Smoketown. Then he did Midnight Sky with Jim Pruitt. And he's doing, speaking of script to comics, one of the winners last year was Charm City, which is about witches and grounded fantasy, but all takes place in Baltimore. And I know that like Scott is from Baltimore, and just getting to know him over the years, I'm like, he would be perfect for this. And we pitched it to him. He's like, I'm in. But that's it. We have an ash can. I think, did you get some of those? Or have you got those yet? Charm City?
I don't think so.
I've got mine here.
Yeah.
You got yours? Yeah.
No, I don't. I know I don't have that.
Okay, yeah. We did that for San Diego Comic-Con. It was like a little San Diego comic. We offered it to the retailers in the last program. But yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's great, man. In the story, I read the script. That was the one that I was in charge of reading, and I was like, "This is the one." Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Have you gotten to read? This is another Lemire book. Lemire knows how to make me feel all the feels.
He's fantastic, man.
Have you read May's book yet?
No, I have it. It's sitting on my desk.
I
think it's on 5, right? Issue 5.
Yeah, I think so.
He's so good. I was just talking to one of my buds today in my office. I got Sweet Tooth, The Return. I haven't read that. I just read the first issue, and I got the trade. And he remembered when we were in college and we lived together and Sweet Tooth came out. He's like, dude, how long did this go? And I was like, oh, it went for, what was it, like 30 issues? Yeah. The original Sweet Tooth. And I was like, there's a Netflix show. He's like, no, is it any good? I was like, yeah, it's great. And I remember I knew that before everybody. It was really cool. We went to go visit. The coolest office I've ever seen was in LA, and it was at Robert Downey. Team Downey is their production company that him and his wife own. And we got to go into the right on Venice Beach. It's like this absolutely gorgeous place. What's funny is apparently it used to be like a adult film studio.
Oh, no.
They converted it. That was funny. Like there was a pool, right? Where the pool was on the top floor, but if you went underwater, like it had windows so people could swim. As you're walking up the stairs, you could see people in the pool. It was really weird. But anyways, coolest office. I mean, there was that old Iron Man, the very first Iron Man suits in their area. But what they told us, they're like, yeah, we just finished the pilot for Sweet Tooth, and we're waiting to see if Netflix is going to give us a thumbs up. And I was like, oh, I love that book so much. And yep, the rest is history.
Yeah, Felipe, I agree. I strive to be half as good as him ever as a writer, for sure.
Oh, he's great. He is so good.
And John Powers has a question. Do you accept submissions for black and white graphics that are short?
Typically with graphic novels, black and white is a really, really tough sell to retailers. I mean, manga seems to be changing that, but it's tough. We do. If you just go to scoutcomics.com and click the submissions, you have our submission guidelines. Just, title the subject, what your book is, low-res PDF, and send it out. And we like to, I know Brendan is in charge of responding to all of them, but we have a team that looks over it. And we let everybody know. But I know being a writer myself, a lot of companies don't answer. So you don't even know, it just goes to the ether. We try to strive to be different by answering everybody. And I know Brendan really prides himself. Brendan is the founder and CEO of Scout. So he prides himself on letting people know regardless one way or another.
Yeah, super cool dude. I just remembered another one that was so good. Oh, can't believe I didn't say this was my number one.
What?
Rick Riveras, Stabbity Bunny, Emmett's story.
Oh my gosh, you're right. When he shared that with me for the first time, I thought, I'm actually mad at the Eisners because they did not nominate that. Wasn't that
or do you put things out there for them to consider? Is that how
Yeah, so every March what you have to do is you send them a list of they have all the categories and you put the stuff that came out that particular year, but you're supposed to send hard copies of everything. So, I mean, if it's a graphic novel, you send a graphic novel. If it's like best cover, you send those covers. And we do, and we haven't got a nomination yet. That's a bucket list thing for me. And I thought we had 2 shoo-ins. One was the one you just said. And those of you who haven't read it, we have it available still on our website. You don't have to read Stabby Bunny. You should, but you don't have to read the story. It just follows one of the characters. It is so powerful. It's called Stabby Bunny Emmett's Story. We did it as a one shot because it was just so, instead of like, it was going to be like, I think issue 10 or 11 at the time. We're just going to do this as a self because it's that powerful. But the other one is Yasmin. I was very disappointed. I thought for sure Yasmin was going to get slam dunk. Actually, I think it has a chance next year because it was 2021. That's when the draft.
Put that in again.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Do you not agree with that? Have you read that?
Oh, 120,000%. That should be definitely in that nomination group.
I mean, I think it should win it. I'm biased for obvious reasons, but at the very least, nominate that book. Saif, David and I got to meet him just before the pandemic in Comics Pro, the last Comics Pro. He lives out we were doing it in Portland. He lives out in Oregon. And he was so nice. He took the 2 of us out to an Iraqi restaurant. And the food was unbelievable. And he was just so great. And we gave him his ash can because we did an ash can that year. And he was excited to actually see it. But he's an accomplished screenwriter. He is, from what he told me, like 15, 20 completed screenwrite. Like, he's a hell of a talent. But that story is so powerful. Highly recommend it. Yasmin, the graphic novel's available now. 6 issues. It's so good. So good. What else do we have going on? Just busy. Even though books haven't been printing, we still have been busy, which, knock on wood.
You're busy. Got to rearrange the schedule. That's the hard part, right?
Yeah, that's one thing we got to talk about today is just to let everybody know. We kind of want to get ahead of it. All of the publishers should be doing this. It's not a singled out Scout thing. So we want to get ahead, as in let you guys know, let Diamond and Lunar know. And they already know, but we're going to basically set up new ones. The big problem, I'm telling you, Jen, it was scary last week because what do you do? If you can't print, like, what do you do? We have so much stuff. But again, like I said, we solved it. And luckily, Comic Impressions they found some paper as well. So, but we have other print partners now that we're going to at least alleviate some of the stress that they have on it, and make up for the lost time. But it's still going to take some time, unfortunately. But it looks like we're about done for this evening or afternoon. But I already asked my question. Do you have another question for me? Do you have another question, perhaps?
Let me think. Something really cool. Okay. So, you've been doing a lot of Hollywood digging recently.
Yeah.
You don't just say a person, but what has been the most unique situation under which you've had to meet them? Like secrecy, do you have to wear a mask to go to their plays? Did you have to like only talk with like modulated voices on a phone? Was there anything really weird about how you had to interact with someone in the Hollywood realm?
Yeah, there was I'm not going to say who it is, but we got to meet on a Zoom. And in the middle of the Zoom, he started smoking weed. And I'm not against marijuana, to each his own, right?
I can 100% guess who this is.
And it was just so strange. Like again, people don't know like my background. I'm a financial advisor. I'm a stockbroker. Typically, I'm always like, and it's been weird since the pandemic, but I would have to. My dad was a stockbroker too, a little more about me. So my dad was like suit up, show up, go through the motions kind of thing. So every day it was like tie, right? And by the way, I live in Florida, so having a long sleeve dress shirt with a tie is not exactly fun, especially in the summer. And but I get it. Like it's different with certain business meetings. It's like more casual now. And I remember when I was in the Carolinas where I started wearing like polo shirts instead of suits, because if you went to certain farmers, they would think you're looking down on them by dressing up in a suit. It was very strange. But smoking weed on a meeting was a little weird. Like I thought a little you could be high on the meeting, I guess, but actually doing it in the meeting was a little strange to me. I just think about what my dad would have done.
They were alleviating their stress level.
Yes. Understandable. What about you? What's been the weirdest thing that you've done?
I mean, I don't know if it's the weirdest thing or the coolest thing I've ever got to do was at Comics Pro, last big Comics Pro, when I was we just went out to, I'm always the designated like driver, in that I get everyone back to their hotel rooms because I've been dry since 1995 or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I was at a bar with Dinesh from former Valiant, now Bad Idea, and Nick Barucci from Dynamite, and a bunch of other retailers. And just we're wrapping it up for the night, just all hanging out. And Dinesh says, "Hey, who wants to go back to my room and watch Bloodshot?" This is like months.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Oh, okay, so that'd be
That's so cool.
Surreal. It was a surreal moment. It was all, and as we went back to the room, people started peeling off. They're like, "We're too tired to go do this." I'm like, "I don't think you guys understand what life is, because I don't know you at all."
Where did you watch it? Was it on like a video, like a computer laptop, or was it on a TV?
He had it on his laptop, and we spent like an hour asking the hotel at 3 a.m. to find us a connector that we could use between the laptop and the TV, and they totally found it. It was like, I was like, awesome. I'm proud of this place. Most of the time, you call them up and be like, "I'm sorry, we have one person at the front desk. You suck it up." But they went and found one.
It was the Hilton in Portland, right?
Yes.
Because we had a good story with them too, because that's when we revealed our like vending machine stuff, right? And we had to get it shipped there and everything, and they were just awesome, like dealing with us. They're like, "Yeah, we saved it to you. Sit down here. We're gonna have." They were awesome. So it does not surprise me to hear that they found that, because they were just great. That was fun, man. That was the last one, wasn't it? That was the last Comics Pro in person.
Yeah.
It'll be soon, hopefully soon, knock on wood. But I saw a comment in there by Lefty Blues with the Legendary Editions. We love them too. And he said, "We don't kill spiders." Oh, that's definitely on the plan for the year.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yes, I absolutely. I know we got one plan for Sam and his talking gun. I know we have one plan for obviously Draco. That one's should be out soon. That was a December book. That was one of the paper problem ones that's now it's sent to print, but that's delayed because of that. What else ones were we going to do? Well, the new Vice Admiral Acker, which is the third, that's coming out, I believe, in July of this year. But we'll have the Legendary most likely in November or December. So we plan.
White Ash came out
quarterly. What was that, bud?
White Ash.
White Ash is already out. Yep, we have White Ash, Phantom Star Killer, Draco, and then the next one. I think Stabby Bunny will be one of them that we eventually do.
Ooh.
It's the trick is try to make sure the artist did it in that certain format. That's going to be the trick too.
Well, tell them what's inside, because it's really cool.
Yeah, so normal artist editions is just the art and that's it. But what we did a little bit differently, and this is the brainchild of Rich Woodall and Joe Schmalke. Like they just do some really cool stuff. But we letter it, so it's like a gigantic 11x17 comic and how it was actually done.
Whoa.
And it's done in the pencils and inks. No color, but they did some spot color in some of them, just like Star Killer, like the sword is like a bright pink or bright pink, I believe. And I know with Sam, they're gonna have reds in it, like the guns and stuff. So it's just a really cool idea that we've done, and it's a cool collectible. We like to call it our coffee table book. But we're gonna do some really cool art books. Speaking of which, Richard just talked to me, a little breaking news. I got to talk to the rest of the people, so I apologize, the rest of the team, if you're listening. I haven't talked to anybody yet about it, but Richard Stefano reached out about doing some kind of art book, and Richard volunteered. He's like, "Dude, his art is amazing. I'll help him put this thing together." And I was like, I'm in. I love his art too.
Okay, cool.
So we have no idea when that'll come out. Most likely end of the year if we can fit it in the schedule. But yeah, his covers are gorgeous. But again, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll see you next week. And Jen, I hope your husband feels better and he's getting on the mend.
Yeah, he's on the back end, and your wife as well.
Yes, she is. She actually went to work today, all masked up. She's a veterinarian, so she is getting better, and I haven't got it, knock on wood. I I got it at the beginning of the pandemic. Like if this was like everyone dies, I wouldn't have made it past the first round. I got it the week of. So I would have been done.
Did you lick somebody with
She
it
did
or what?
too. This is like her second time getting it, which is crazy. I didn't think that was really possible. So, but I managed not to get it so far. But we know, knowing my luck, like she's better. I'll get it tomorrow, and then we'll have to like, yeah. But again, everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of Mustache You Question with Jen and James, and we'll see you guys next week.